leather gloves, we're slapping in hams. Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. Who's chasing the deer that circle the lips? Play ball, play ball. Load up the bases and smack it right over the wall. Play ball.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Laughter Saves Lives, live here on Strong Island Television and Paradise Studios in Massapequa, New York. My co-host tonight is the lovely and beautiful Rich Walker.
I am here. So good to be back.
Always, I am broadcasting tonight from Elizabeth, New Jersey, the home of Elizabeth. I am teaching at the port here this week with our customs and border protection people, heroes, teaching these guys some of my stuff, spewing a little knowledge, the little that I have.
So that will explain the cleaned up, organized backdrop.
Well, I have trashed this room in a day. I don't know if you could see that over there. That's
you certainly moved in.
I'm in a suite. Look at the counter in the little kitchen. There's pickles up there, empty bottles. I haven't traveled a lot in the last few months, so I'm out of control here. I do miss the fam. I do miss the family when I'm away. Yeah, this whole COVID thing, you're home a lot now, and it's like when you leave, it's like, you miss it. Maybe it's more like, what do you got in the background there? What's the lights?
That's a stoplight, but it's like a toy spotlight.
So you chose.
It looks like disco.
Do you know
you got
that
a disco going on there?
But you see, it's red, yellow, green.
Yeah, I do suffer from vertigo. I suffer from vertigo, and I think that may put me into an attack.
I can take it off.
No, I think it's just fine. It's something different. Something different. I wanted to talk to you a little bit, Rick. We have some great guests on tonight, by the way. We have Chief Taylor from the Trophy Club Fire Department, Texas. We have Bob Straub from the Thomas Elsasser Fund and FDNY. And closing the show is our buddy, Joe Pontillo.
Love Joe Pontillo.
We also have Butch hovering over your shoulder for some reason.
I see him.
Butch?
You know what? I thought you might want to mention what is all over Facebook today.
We do not.
John.
What is all over Facebook?
You do not?
What is it?
What's all over Facebook? What relates to you that's been all over Facebook?
Oh.
Maybe something about your son.
I'm going to be a grandpa again.
Oh, all right.
A little girl.
I didn't know that.
A little girl, another little kid calling me Grandbabs because I can't be called grandpa yet. I don't feel I'm old enough. So it's Grandbabs.
Grandbab, do you make up these names or do the kids naturally call you that?
My kids called me Babs as a nickname for some reason. Babs. When my son was like, what do you want your grandson to call you? And I said, you know what? I don't want to be called grandpa yet. I just feel it'll make me feel older. So let's do Grandbabs. And
Grandbabs.
And
no pop.
And should we be a little more specific on who is having this child?
No, we should not. My son is pregnant. My son is pregnant.
He's transgender.
Let's talk about something more important, Rich.
That's important.
Butch tells me, don't talk over the intro, and then he comes in and he's talking over the show.
Us.
Yeah, I can't talk over the intro.
No,
you leave? All right. Mac and cheese. This was a discussion pre-show. Did you hear the mac and cheese discussion?
No.
Stuff.
I came in at McDonald's.
This is important stuff. What is your go-to mac and cheese?
We like Velveeta here.
But what do you put in it? You just go cheese and bronies, and that's it?
Yeah.
No breadcrumbs? No hot dogs?
No, well, we just use the packet. You know, the shells. You boil them, and then you squeeze in the shell.
That's
cheese.
All right. Let me get Christine back out here. I got to talk to her. You got to go a little better with the mac.
That's a specialty.
That's like my wife. I call it the meal. She makes the meal. She takes chicken thighs and pours salad dressing in it and puts it in the oven for an hour and a half. And that's, what are you making tonight? Oh, I'm making that chicken thing, the meal.
You know what? I'm like the worst cook in the world. I have a very hard time making the peas as hot as the mashed potatoes at the same time. Like, I can't coordinate everything. It's too much. I don't know how cooks do it.
It's hard. Can I tell you a funny story about peas?
Yeah.
Had a guy in my firehouse. I can't remember his name. Ladder 12, my first firehouse. He had, did I tell you the story? The shakes?
No.
He had the shakes. So one day we're eating a meal and we made peas. So he's putting them on his fork and they're falling off. He's trying to get them right. So he goes, hey, don't make peas anymore. The next time he worked, all we had was peas, a big bowl of peas. There was no meat. There was no veg. There was no potatoes.
Stab it into.
It was just a big bowl of peas.
So the poor guy, how did he eat? He had to give him a spoon.
I think he stabbed one of us, to be honest. I'm going for the second vaccine on Saturday, I think.
Pfizer or Moderna?
Pfizer. Look at you, the expert. Are you going for Pfizer or Moderna?
But you know what? I don't know anybody that got the Moderna yet. Maybe it didn't come to New York.
Well, maybe. I went.
No, you got Pfizer, right? Oh, right. Christine's got Moderna. The railroad workers got Moderna.
Oh, really? And she works on the railroad?
Yeah.
Does she work like with the sledgehammers, with the spikes, like, building the tracks?
She's a conductor.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? That would have been cool. I've been working on Christine Railroad
all live long day.
Then I go home and make the mac and cheese out of the pouch.
She's always looking for her puncher, and I'm always looking for a punchline. Very cool.
I get it. The puncher.
I have a lot of them. We joined the Mile Long Club. The Mile Long Club.
The Mile Long Club. I get it.
It's a train.
Instead of the Mile High Club.
Right.
What is the sexiest thing you've ever done on an airplane? What is the craziest, sexiest? Have you ever, anybody touched your weenie on the plane or something?
Yeah, that's what they did. They look for me to touch my weenie. My wife don't want to touch my weenie off the plane.
It's not an option. Honey, I have the blanket. What do you think? Just get me peanuts.
Well, that's close.
It is close. Oh, that's not right.
What about you? What's the sexiest thing on a plane?
Oh, I once in the bathroom on the plane, right?
Yeah.
Went in there and thought about, wouldn't it be nice if somebody on the plane, this was when I was single, would have, would do something with me in the bathroom. And that was the closest. That was it. It was a thought. It was a thought. And then I pressed the button on the wall. The light went on. And then I left. That was as close as I got.
That is adventurous.
Very adventurous.
The worst I ever got was having a fantasy about the girl swimming on a slip and slide on a Sky Mall magazine. Like, that's,
The Sky Mall magazine.
There's nothing. I should have said a woman sliding on the slip and slide magazine.
Why is that making me laugh so much?
Because it's a reference, Sky Mall magazine. Right?
Oh my God.
You ever look through that stuff? And you're like, wow, I gotta get this. This is great for
Yeah.
$2,484. It's always a weird price too, like $1,731. Like it's
For a beanbag seat.
for a beat.
I've never bought anything out of this. I wonder if anybody's ever bought anything out of that magazine.
I don't know. Do you think they do? I don't.
I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Now-
You know,
Yeah.
talking about gifts, all right? I had a little problem, a little argument with the family, and it's a running argument. I'm not easy to buy a present for. I guess it's partially my fault.
I'm the worst. The worst.
But the gifts that my family buys me, like if you look at your kids, if they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, they go out, they spend $400, they shop for hours. My gifts look like my family continues to move as they buy it. It's like as they move past a rack, they grow, oh, that might like this. They just keep walking. There's no thought, it's just like, oh, we got to get them something.
You know that's amazing? It must be a man thing because me too. Like my wife, he'll like these gloves, but they'll be like size extra large because that's all they had left. And they'll be like this big on me from here to here. And she'll go, don't worry, you'll go exchange them when they come back. Like
my wife, I'm going to get in such trouble if anybody's watching this. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
I have sweatshirts. I have a drawer under the bed. You know when you have those drawers under the bed?
Yeah.
Okay. I have so many sweatshirts in that drawer that there's a bump in my bed. Right? You close that drawer. It's under the bed. They're protruding like into my bed where it's pushing
into the mattress.
Right. Guess what my wife told my 2 kids to buy me for my birthday?
A bigger drawer.
Sweatshirts. I got a red sweatshirt and another one that said, watch me. I'm not scared. I raised 2 daughters or something very cute. My daughter bought me sweatshirts. I like toys. I'm so bad. I like to play with things. Surprise. So my wife said she went out on a limb. She got me this vibrating cushion for my desk. So if I wanted to sit at my desk, right, which is a very comfortable chair, and I never said my desk was uncomfortable, so why buy me a cushion for my desk, right? So do I want to vibrate? If I'm doing this show at home, do I want to vibrate while I'm doing the show? What do I want?
She goes the extra mile, and you hate it, right? Like
but I said to her, at least you took a shot. She took a shot.
See,
you know
what I got on Father's Day? This.
What is it?
This.
Fitbit.
No, the band, not the watch.
Just the band?
The band. That's what I get. Like I like a new band.
Like $39.
No.
Get Christine back over here. We got to talk to Christine. That's like.
You know what I got for Christmas? Right behind me over there. Look, it's blinking.
I know. I'm telling you, I'm going to have a vertigo attack.
Actually, that's let me turn it off. It's annoying, right?
No, it's not. Really, I didn't even notice it. I personally, I thought you were more annoying than the light.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel better then.
We're going to go, Rich, let's go to commercial and we'll come right back.
All right.
All right, we're going to go to commercial.
Hi, I'm Michael Barish, managing partner of Barish, McGarry, Salzman & Penson. We are honored to represent over 11,000 people in the 9/11 community. The people who work at my law firm can really relate to what the 9/11 community is going through because they're going through it too.
So my dad's name was Billy Gormley, and he was a fireman on 9/11.
My father also was a firefighter, and he did report down there as well on 9/11.
My dad, Alan, worked on the 104th floor of the second tower. He was an IT technician.
My father was a fire inspector.
My husband, his name is David Velez. He was a detective with the NYPD, and if I can help anybody that is going through exactly what I have gone through for the last 17, 18 years and make their life just a little bit better, then you know what? I love coming to work every single day.
You know, this is a genuine office. Like, people are really sincere.
The best part of my job is the clients. Every once in a while, you'll hear in their voice how grateful they are for the work that we do.
We take this personally, and we will not rest unless we help everybody we can before this victim compensation fund ends in 2 years. And we will be fighting to get this thing extended past 2020, because cancer isn't going to stop afflicting the 9/11 community.
Hey, we're back. Laughter Saves Lives Live. I just realized that Butch can see me when we're in commercial. Is that true, Butch? Can you see me? Like, I didn't realize that. Is that
Yes,
true?
of course I can see you. I can see everything. I'm producing the show, you know.
Well, I didn't realize that, because who knows what I'm doing in this hotel room. I didn't realize. All right, let's say hello to Rob. Rob, can I call you Rob or Bob?
Bob.
Is it Straub or Straub?
Straub.
Straub. Now, Bob Straub. Okay, Straub. That's better. Well,
You
welcome.
can pronounce it however you want.
Nah, we don't do that. We don't do that here at Laughter Saves Lives. Meet Rich Walker. Rich is a fellow comedian.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, how you doing, Rich?
Is not allowed out. Rich has been in his house for months.
right.
Not because of COVID, just because he doesn't know what to do with himself.
And I have nobody invites me anywhere.
Ah.
Hey, Rob,
Well,
you have a discussion about the airplane and the sexiest thing that we've done on an airplane.
I like the Sky magazine also.
Now, Rich likes to watch the lady. He likes to look at the ladies in the magazine, and I have thoughts in the bathroom, but that's about it. Have you topped us at all?
Have I what?
Topped us. Have you done anything sexy on an airplane? Something romantic? Or
Not really. Not that I can recall. I do like to sleep on an airplane, though.
all right, that's three of us.
That's sexy to
And
me.
my
to be honest
dreams
with you.
might qualify for what you're talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Rob, have you ever bought anything from Sky Mall? This is the question of the day.
I was very tempted, but I never did.
Yeah, I think you know what it is. By the time you land, you put the magazine down, and you don't take it with you. I've taken it with me sometimes. All right, so let's get off of this topic and on to the Thomas Elsasser Fund. When I came on the job,
Right.
Richie, that's what you say, the jab. When I came on the job back in,
Right.
oh my God, '87, it was the Elsasser Fund and the Burn Center, the two charities that I remember.
Right.
I played in the one-pitch tournament down at Juniper Valley Park.
Right.
I don't know if you do you remember me playing that tournament? I think I was the only guy in a one-pitch tournament that didn't hit a ball for like 3 games. Like,
I don't remember
yeah,
that. No.
I struck out 10 times in a row. 10 times.
John, he doesn't remember you at all. Forget
No.
about how you were playing.
In fact,
I was a Bronx fireman. I was in a busy company, so I mainly was in the Bronx doing my thing.
all right. So how did you get? Tell us a little bit about the Elsasser Fund, who Thomas Elsasser was, and how it got started.
All right. Thomas Elsasser was a Brooklyn firefighter from Ladder 104. He was very active in sports. He was on the All-Star team for the FDNY. He ran an annual charity game. You mentioned the Elsasser game. Before that, it was a game that he organized for the Widows and Children's
Nice.
Fund, which benefits the line of duty widows and children. Unfortunately, in 1989, Tom passed away from an illness, which was not line of duty. He didn't have his 20 years, and what that means is that his family, his wife, would get a small payout or a payout from the pension fund and 1 year health benefits from the union. Obviously, that doesn't really last too long.
Right.
So some of Tom's friends approached the Brooklyn trustee, Kevin Gallagher, who, with the guys from the Brooklyn Firehouse, decided to start the Thomas Elsasser Fund for the benefit of active firefighters' families who die non-line of duty. And when it started out, obviously, there was very little money. I believe it was the hockey team that donated the first $5,000.
Nice.
Now, Kevin Gallagher became the chairman. He eventually became president of the union,
Right.
and I was elected to the union in 1999, so I got to meet Kevin and become good friends with him. After a couple of years there and watching what Kevin did with the Elsasser funds, money was coming in from the other sports teams. And like you said, it was the burn center and the Elsasser. I remember the soda cans in the kitchen,
Yes.
where you put your quarters
Yep.
in after the meal. That didn't bring in the kind of money that would really give great benefits to these families who just, after a while, they just couldn't afford, with the husband gone, the bills start to build up.
Mortgage, rent.
So everything, mortgage, rent, you name it. So once they started the fund, they worked on and got a 501c3 to make it a charitable organization. And money did come in from a number of places. And so Kevin formed a board, which consisted of him as the chairman.
Right.
What was it? I think in 2004, I became the treasurer, because I was the treasurer of the UFA at the time. So I took over as treasurer of the Elsasser Fund. They elected me onto their board. And at the time, when I first got involved, actually before 9/11, they gave out $1,000 scholarships to the children of firefighters who died that particular year. After 9/11, all the funds at the UFA, money came in from everywhere.
Sure.
So our funds grew, the Widows and Children's, the scholarship fund we created for active and retired firefighters and their kids. And the Elsasser fund, money came into that fund also. It grew to the point where we could start doing things a little bit more than just giving out $1,000.
To really make a difference, to relieve the stress of these families.
to make
a difference, right?
Yeah.
So we started to change the, instead of being a scholarship fund, it became a fund to benefit the families of the guys who died in line of duty.
Right.
So at our annual meeting, once the fund grew a little bit after 9/11, we were able to do grants for the holidays.
Right.
$2,500 for each of the widows, and $1,000 for each of the kids.
Wow.
And currently we have 83 families and 44 kids below the age of 24. I wanted to mention this past weekend, a young firefighter in the Bronx, Carmine Barisi, was killed in an accident up in Lake George.
Did not know that.
It just happened. I just got notified from different things from the UFA, and I saw it, I got different emails and stuff, but his wife and his daughter will now become the 84th family and the 45th child in our fund.
Well, can I ask you, how is the fund doing right now? Because I know with our foundation, we're a lot smaller. We've given out a lot during COVID and not taken a lot in.
Right.
Is that the case with the Elsasser Fund?
Right. The Elsasser Fund, annually we get different donations, like I said, from the sports teams. We've gotten some really nice donations. Somebody donated $800,000 a few years ago.
Wow.
A private person that just didn't want to,
Yeah.
And about $600,000 we got from no, not soda cans. No. This came from a private individual. So
before you said people
put
put money in the soda cans. That's
that was back in the firehouses in the old days. But no, so money did come into the funds after 9/11, and also in the last few years, some nice donations. So we're able to do things like doing the $2,500 for the widows and the $1,000 for the kids for the holidays. But also every year, and this year we weren't able to do it because of the pandemic and because very little money came into the funds. Although we have a backup, that I have invested, so it's our reserve funds. But each year, besides the holiday money, we also get requests like, my roof is leaking, my boiler just blew up.
You know, that's great that you guys do that. We have a fellow comic that Rich Walker knows that was a police officer, and I was trying to help his widow. I don't want to mention the name on the air but her air conditioner went out, and they have a disabled child, and trying to help them, with the air conditioner. So with the Elsasser Fund, that's a great fund to have there. What I want, I was talking to Glenn from the FDNY retirees. Is it Glenn?
Right.
So what we wanted to do is we wanted to do an online comedy show because you have members all over the country, all retirees,
We do, yeah.
So we want to do an online show, a comedy show online, where guys would be able to go online, pay for a ticket, whatever it is, $15, $20, and watch some professional comics and raise some money for the Elsasser. You think that's something we can do?
I think it's a great idea. And, after this past year with this pandemic, I think, trying to get back into life as we knew it before, every donation is good, but small, big, whatever.
Right.
But it helps this fund, which helps people who really, a lot of them are very needy. Some of them have done okay, got remarried. But a lot of them, every year we get requests that, that they need help.
And you know what, Rob?
My son needs a dentist.
Yeah, just like somebody who's younger or whatever. Sometimes we don't plan well because we don't think this is going to happen to us. And now all of a sudden you have a wife and a daughter or whatever who they have a house. They don't want to move out of their house, especially when they lost their dad, So what you guys do is awesome. It really, really.
Yeah. We'd love to be able to pay mortgages, things like that. I know there are other funds out there. I was a firefighter for a long time, and there are great charities out there.
Yep.
My involvement with the UFA, I was branch trustee and then treasurer. My involvement with the Widows and Children's, with our scholarship. The Elsasser Fund's my favorite charity because it helps the people who are the neediest.
Well, we want to try to help you in a small way. Laughter saves lives. Definitely going to send you a check. Just send me an email. If I hit the donate button on your website, what is your website?
I'm not sure about the website. Our accountant takes care of the website.
Well, if people want to donate, who should they?
Yeah, how do they donate?
All right. They can donate by sending a check to the Thomas Elsasser Fund. It's ELSASSER Fund.
Elsasser.
Care of Sheila Pettit, who's our accountant.
Okay.
Her last name is Pettit. At the UFA building, 204 East 23rd Street, New York, 10010.
All right, and there's probably another way to do it that's easier. We'll look that up, and we're gonna get that out there. We're gonna make a donation, and I'm gonna talk to Glenn and yourself about this comedy show. Rich Walker will be on it.
Right.
I'll be on it. We'll get some other funny people. We'll have some fun, and we'll do some good work.
It sounds like a great idea, and I really appreciate you having me on your show.
Of course.
Just getting the word out there. I think there's a lot of active firefighters today that don't really know much about the Elsasser.
I have to tell you,
and I think we got to get the word out to
I
them.
have to tell you, we got to go. But I have to tell you, that was one of the first charities that we did a show, I think, for the Elsasser back in the day. And I had forgotten. I didn't know it still existed, to be honest with you, because there's so many other charities out there with the FDNY now. And when I heard, I said, "Oh, we got to work with them." So thanks for coming on, and we look forward to working with you guys.
Yeah,
we've been doing some great things, and I really appreciate your support and any help that you can give us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Be well, my brother.
Thank you for what you do.
All right. Thanks, John. Thanks for
You
that.
got it.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Rob Straub from the Thomas Elsasser Fund, a really nice charity. It basically, they used to call it the Elsasser, the non-line of duty Widows and Children's Fund. Are we going to go to commercial? I think that was a hint. That's like last call. Did you see that, Rich?
It's like when you see the flash of a skull in a horror movie, like very fast.
Yeah, we'll go to commercial. We'll be right back. with Chief Taylor from Trophy Club, Texas.
Oh, good. Yeah.
When someone is choking, brain damage can occur after just 4 minutes. Did you know every 5 days a child dies because of a choking accident?
My name is Art Lee. I invented LifeVac to protect my family. LifeVac is an easy-to-use suction device with a special one-way valve to help save a choking victim.
I care for my dad who's prone to choking. Having LifeVac in my home gives me peace of mind.
Protect your family. Buy LifeVac now.
Thank you, Daddy.
Call 1-877-LifeVac or visit lifevac.net.
LifeVac. We are back in LifeVac. Rich, do you have a LifeVac in the house?
I do not yet.
Can we get you one? There's Chief Taylor coming in from Texas. As we used to say, I'm talking to him long distance. Shh. Long. How old are you? You're not as old as me, Chief, right?
I turned 54 yesterday.
54. Do you remember
Happy
those days?
birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
it. My birthday was Friday. And now I'm old enough to collect Social Security. I put that on Facebook. People thought I was going to collect Social Security, but I can't yet because I'm working and I'm very active and very smart.
Good for you.
He is very,
he's
very intelligent. He forgot to say handsome.
Very enthusiastic. She's like, good for you. Chief, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate being here.
Oh, I appreciate you. So, related to our last guest, Glenn introduced me from the FDNY Retirees newsletter, which I get online, and introduced me. But he also sent me an article that was in the FDNY Retirees website or newsletter, and I clicked on it. And I was blown away in one way and not surprised in another. When I became a firefighter, I had no idea what the brotherhood was all about. I was a shy kid, wasn't brave, was afraid of heights. You know, I was not the fireman material, Chief. I was not what you would think. And as I went to the academy and got confidence and was around all these guys, I started to get it. So I'm reading this article, and Peter Masiello, Captain Masiello, right? Am I pronouncing his last name correctly? Masiello, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Captain for 30 years, Rich, on the FDNY. 30 years. Had a type of cancer, and his kids moved to Texas. He wanted to be near his kids. So he never thought he'd leave New York like a lot of us, moved to Texas. And the one thing he said to his wife that he feared was no firefighters would attend his funeral. He was sick. He had cancer. I guess he understood that he was not going to live a whole lot longer. And this was his biggest fear. Because with the brotherhood, it's important to us. So he passed away about a week ago, Chief?
That's right. A week ago Monday. He passed away on February 15th, actually.
Okay, a week ago Monday. And I'm going to let the Chief take it from here. So his wife gave you a call?
Well, we had, as y'all probably saw in the news, we had a weather event here that for us is really tough. But when it gets to 0 degrees for a week at a time in Texas, we don't have the infrastructure to handle that. We don't have, our piping's not below the freeze line, just a lot of issues. So we had a lot of things going on, had several structure fires that weekend. And then you know how everything goes in waves. Went from structure fires to water cutoffs till Monday. It was CPR day. We had several CPRs we ran on. And we got a call to the Masiello residence, and it was actually, he was deceased on the scene. We didn't work the patient, but a lot of our firefighters had come into contact with him over the last couple of years. I've just been chief in Trophy Club for almost a year. The end of this month will be 1 year for me. So I had not had the opportunity to meet Captain Masiello, which I really do regret. But several of our firefighters had met him around town and talked to him, and they said he was a walking encyclopedia book about firefighting, and they loved talking to him and had gotten to know him. And his son had moved down here about 5 years ago, and 2 years ago he's been battling cancer, so he moved down here to be closer to his son down here and battle cancer, and to the hospital they wanted to come to down here to battle that. So he was here, and several times he had mentioned to his wife and his son that his biggest regret was dying in Texas and not having any brother firefighters at his funeral. Said it over and over. It was really a concern of his. And so when our crews responded that day, they recognized him, knew whose house it was, and they talked to Diane, his wife, and she had reiterated that fact again. And so later that day, I popped into the firehouse, and the guys were telling me, you know how it is in the firehouse. I had one conversation going on this side of the station and another conversation here, and I'm in the middle of two different conversations. But I happened to catch him over here saying, "Yeah, Captain Masiello was worried he wouldn't have brother firefighters at his funeral." And I said, "Excuse me?" And they said, "Yeah," and they repeated it. And I said, "Can't say it on here what I said, but basically I said that's not going to happen." And asked them to get me the contact information. So one thing led to another. I got in contact with the family, with his wife Diane and his son Anthony, and we kind of went from there. And I offered any help that we could provide. And we talked about it again, and she was really concerned that there wouldn't be any firefighters there. And I reassured her that that was not going to happen. And so, you know, brothers being brothers, you know, I reached out to my fellow fire chiefs here in the area, hoping as a grassroots effort just to have hopefully 20, 30 firefighters there, maybe a couple of pieces of equipment. I knew we'd have ours there. Right. Our previous department in Irving's a metro-sized department, and we had a very prolific pipes and drums in this area and honor guards. So I contacted them, Conley, and obviously they jumped on it. And one thing led to another. The next thing we know, we had 26 pieces of fire equipment there. We had over 100 uniformed personnel there. We had big pipes and drums. It was not only Irving, but other surrounding departments that chipped in, did casket watch, had the pipes and drums. His nephew, Jimmy Mullins, came down, who's FDNY, firefighter, 25 years, brought the FDNY flag down that Lieutenant Joe LaPointe sent down with him. And so it was full honors, full service, had the FDNY flag and full Catholic mass for the funeral. And it was really, really a wonderful event. A couple of news stations down here covered it and actually did a really nice story on that. The ABC affiliate down here did a great story at the funeral. I filmed that and showed that on Friday. So it was overwhelming. I wasn't surprised, just like you said, John. I was not surprised at all, but at the same time overwhelmed when I turned the corner and I saw all these rigs sitting there, just beautiful, different colors, different departments, and it was just unbelievable.
And I'm happy.
Let me say one thing. Speaking from somebody that, unfortunately, I'm not a firefighter, but to see that it's a national brotherhood is amazing. How you all come together for somebody, down in Texas, somebody from New York. I mean, it's great. It's crazy. That's so nice.
It's, Chief, if I just, it's Richie, it's something that you can't explain to people because there are jobs out there where you can make a lot more money. But when it's all said and done, the relationships that you make, I just spoke to a firefighter that I worked with. Actually, he jumped in the horse van with me on 9/11 when we were going down on 9/11. Vinny Plover from 12 Truck, I used to work with him years ago. We got on the phone yesterday. It's like we're still in the firehouse kitchen breaking each other's balls. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
There's not. And you can't explain it. It's something that, you fight the fight. It doesn't matter what part of the country or the world you're from. It's the same job. It's the same challenges. Everything happens when you're at work. The water heater breaks at home. The child breaks a leg or an arm or gets in trouble at school. And we go through all those things together that it's similar no matter where you're from and the challenges that we deal with. But, I kind of talk to firefighters in this area and I say you can look at it as paying forward or paying backward depending on where you are in your career. Because a lot of us at my age spent time in the aftermath of 9/11, and we sent 45 firefighters up there from our department over a period of about a month and a half and went to wakes and cooked dinners in the firehouse and did those things so for us, there was a real connection there. And I've always felt that connection since that day. And for the newer firefighters, it's paying it forward. You don't know what you're going to come across in your career.
Well, we only have a few more minutes, Chief, but I know we spoke about, we like to get on a plane and do some shows. We've been to Texas. a few times, and I know the charities that you have, you seem to be pretty well funded. So if we do come down there, we could do some shows and raise money for the Laughter Saves Lives Foundation or the Elsasser Fund that was just on before you. I'm sure we'll figure out a place to do that. But part of what we do is we remember my guys that were lost on 9/11 through laughter. So we come down there, we make people laugh as a way to remember them, and I'm sure we'll find a good cause for the money that we raise.
I think that's a wonderful idea. And you know how it is. You're sitting around the table at the firehouse. You come back from a tough run. What gets you back in stride is that humor and busting each other's balls and having some jokes. It's just like being in the locker room and having your brother and sister firefighters around you. And there's no better therapy than to sit there and laugh and joke and make fun of each other. And, you know, a lot of things that we talk about, if we were heard saying that out in the public, it might be a different conversation, but around the firehouse, it's very therapeutic.
Yeah. And I always love, nothing is sacred. We had a guy who lost his house and had to rent a trailer to live on his front lawn when his house was built. And I think it was one day we gave him. And then there were pictures of trailers all over his locker, you know. So, Chief, we thank you for coming on. We're going to stay in touch.
Please do.
Thank you. From me as an FDNY retiree for what you did, it means a lot.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It was my honor and it was our honor. It wasn't just me. Like I said, I may have gotten the ball rolling, but everybody contributed down here. It was wonderful to see. And we're all brothers. And so, yeah, I'd love to see you when you come down this way and look forward to it. Stay in touch.
All right, Chief. Have a good night. Be safe out there. Thank you.
You'll take care. Thank you.
Good talking to you.
That's Chief Taylor from Trophy Club, Texas, Northern Texas, I think.
Wow.
Really cool story.
Could you imagine if it was a comedian, how many would show up? Nobody. Like, I can't even.
Do we get
they won't even show up from the same town.
Do we get a meal?
Who's booking that? How much time do I get?
Let's go to our last commercial, and we're going to close with some yucks from the very funny Joe Pontillo. Very funny guy. We'll be back.
Jack, put your phone away. We're having dinner.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing? What can I get you?
You guys want appetizers?
For some reason, I just got a craving for smoked meat.
Will you order something already? The menu hasn't changed. You looked at it 3 times.
I don't know what I want yet.
I wanted chicken, but I think it's blackened, so I'll have a burger.
How'd you like that cooked?
Medium.
Do you have any specials?
Specials? Boss, what are specials?
What's the matter? You don't know the specials?
Look at this smoke.
What smoke?
We gotta get these dumps clean.
Nah, they're fine.
You know what? We're just gonna take our order to go, okay?
In business since 2003, MCN Duct Cleaning is the result of many years of research and continuing education, realizing the need to provide a safer and cleaner environment for families on Long Island. MCN services both residential and commercial properties by cleaning dryer vents, fireplaces, HVAC systems, and so much more. This not only improves air quality, but it could also reduce your energy bills by making things run more efficiently. So, if you want to make your house or business safer and cut down on your bills in the process, give our friend Matt over at MCN a call now.
Is that steak well done?
Maybe call a little bit sooner than these guys did.
And we're back. Laughter Saves Lives Live with co-host Rich Walker without his flashing lights and the very funny comic Joe Pontillo.
There he is.
Thank you for clarifying that. I like
Joe, if I wasn't calling you comic, what is the next thing that I would be calling you? If I didn't say
I'm
comic.
a philanthropist.
Personality. Entertainer.
Yeah, entertainer, influencer, brand ambassador.
Inspirationalist.
Joe, did you watch the beginning of the show?
I saw you were asking Rich you guys were talking about food. I popped in for a few
We
minutes.
want to know if you bought anything from Sky Mall. Has
No.
anybody?
Couldn't you only buy it if you were on a plane? Wasn't that the deal?
You have to do it before you get off the plane.
You can take that magazine, I think. You're allowed to take it.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
I thought you would order something and then like a Sky butler would show up and deliver it to you, or a drone would just intercept the plane.
Lands on the wing and they send it.
Now, Rich.
That treadmill you always wanted.
Rich and I have been very. Can you turn your phone sideways, Joe?
I think I might be facing the wrong way then, but I'll try it.
Okay.
Is it his phone or your laptop?
It's his desktop.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. All right, leave it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Rich and I are very risque. We're very romantic, sexy people.
Bad, dirty people.
Yeah. So we spoke about the most romantic, sexiest thing we've done on a plane. Richie said he looked at girls in the Sky magazine, that then he clarified women. He clarified women.
Well, I said slip and slide.
Honestly.
And that didn't come out right.
I've been in the bathroom. I had thoughts. That's about as close as I got. What is the most risque thing you've done on a plane, Joe?
Risque thing I've done on a plane. I've only been on a plane maybe like 8 times, and I don't know, nothing really, to be honest.
It was only LaGuardia that knew.
I was sitting next to a woman who insisted on closing her window. That wasn't even fun. When somebody has the window seat, they decide whether or not they open the window or not, and they made the decision. And we're married now. No, but
and she reached over you to slide down the window.
I try not to talk to anybody or bother with anybody when I'm on the plane. I had first class once because I had to upgrade.
You missed your cue. Is that it?
Yeah, I guess so. I never went on a plane when I was a single guy, so
see, John wouldn't drop the ball like that. John would be on top of that.
Yes.
I think you were more of a train guy, Rich.
Well, anyway, Joe, do you have anything you'd like to talk to us about tonight? Any shtick?
Well, things are opening back up, kind of, except in New York. We can't do anything. But, there's all these secret shows popping up, which is kind of nice. And because it's the rule that when you do a live comedy show, you have to post a picture of it the next day on social media. Rich knows. So you do that, and then I got to get a phone call from my mother being like, "You're doing indoor comedy shows. That's so dangerous." And then meanwhile, 2 days later, she's like, "Hey, you want to meet us at Red Lobster in Copiague?" Which is wasn't safe even before the pandemic. So,
you know what? We should start doing shows now because Como's kind of busy now on his own. He's just gonna go do what you want to do.
He's like making up things to open that weren't even closed. Anything but comedy clubs.
Hey.
Like people could go hiking at 80% now. What? That wasn't closed.
Everything except the comedy club can open.
I have my theory that he went to a comedy show in New York City. He got barked in by some guy on the street, probably with a Hawaiian shirt. They said Seinfeld was going to be there. Seinfeld didn't show up, and he was like, "I'm going to ruin this whole business."
Yeah. It was in the middle of Times Square on a corner, right outside of Beauty and the Beast. They sucked him in.
They had to choose between that and an Elmo. Taking a picture with Elmo.
A fake Elmo.
Who's that with Elmo? That's Governor Cuomo.
How come they don't get rid of those guys? Doesn't Disney have a store in Times Square and they got fake Mickey outside with holding the helmet, the hat under the arm? You see his face.
what is he? Ichabod Crane, Mickey? What is that mean?
Yeah, the Headless Horseman.
That's dark. Well, it is New York City, and it is on the decline. So,
Has the Naked Cowboy been out of work? He's very popular in Times Square.
All 12 of them.
Is there more than one?
It's like a there's a few guys. There's a Naked Catwoman now too.
I think there's one, and there was a woman who, I don't know what she called herself. Her name was, I think, Sandy Kane, and she tried to do comedy, and she would actually do an act on stage where she would light her bra on fire.
Oh,
like the whole act. And I think she was feuding with the Naked Cowboy for a while, but I don't know what happened to her. She's probably alive because those types of people never die. They just live to be like 150.
Yeah, they even lived through pandemics, everything.
Yeah, can't slow them down.
So any shows coming up, Joe, that you're doing?
Yeah, I got well, this week, Thursday, I got I'm doing a Zoom show for I guess Broadway Comedy Club, Comedy Therapy. Then this weekend I'm doing a couple of road things actually. On Saturday, I'm at Hobbs Tavern in West Ossipee, New Hampshire. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly.
No, probably not.
You're not going to believe it, but John and I are
you
both
want
open. We could come with you and do a tight spot.
Yeah, I could get you 5.
Don't you love it when a friend calls you and go, hey, maybe I'll take a ride with you? Yeah. No, you don't have to take a ride.
Do you remember those days?
Not much.
They ride 4 hours for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Remember those days? I did it.
I remember driving to Pennsylvania for a 5-minute guest spot to never get a response about it when I started.
One time, Steve Lazarus and I drove to Philadelphia to work for Pickle Man, and we split $100. Though there and back, we lost money on that deal.
Ate at the diner. You spent $30 at the diner, probably.
Yeah.
I worked for the Pickle Man once, and it was the weirdest thing. And then instead of asking for a tape, he just asked for a headshot. Like he just wanted to look at your picture and get a vibe about you.
Yeah, if it was good, professional enough, he'd hire you.
Yeah. If it looked like it was taken by a relative, I don't think so. It's not going to work.
You know, years ago, I got a call from Johnny Lampert. He goes, I can't use you on any of my gigs. I'm like, why? He goes, I hate your headshot. Because my headshot was like this. It looked like this. It was like huge. Like it was too big of a head.
That's why I was a little cautious when I met you. I didn't. I mean, it was very comfortable.
Hey, Joe, do you have one quick bit you want to do? Like, give us a close. Give us a close.
Boom. So, it was just my comedy anniversary last week. However long it's been, I've lost track. It's up there, but you know, one of my favorite comedy stories, because, you know, this business doesn't really make any sense, is years ago I'm doing, you know, the comedy contest at McGuire's, and first prize was like $100, and you got a paid weekend at the club, and one comedian went on stage.
Which was less than the 100.
Yes, exactly. You got paid more to win the contest than to do a weekend. And there wasn't always 3 shows. Remember that? And then one guy went on stage and he did like 2 minutes of his act and then just like froze and went, oh no, and threw the microphone against the wall and ran out of the club. And no, I don't even think his friends followed him. And I was like, man, that's how I want to leave the business. But so that guy won the contest. That's where the story's going. That's comedy for you. But
that
you know,
is comedy. That is
still
comedy.
love it.
Well, Joe, thank you for joining us tonight on Laughter Saves Lives Live.
Thank you for having me.
This is our Almost Gala, our virtual Almost Gala. Rich Walker's going to be a big part of that. He doesn't know yet. We're going to be raising some money for Laughter Saves Lives Foundation. Butch?
I wanted to thank both of our guests tonight. They were fantastic.
Yes.
Just it's exactly why we do what we do.
Yes.
We
Yes.
need a fundraiser to get Rich Walker a less threatening headshot.
We do. Well, let's
And some writers.
we gotta go before Bobby cuts us off completely. Guys, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks. We'll see you next Tuesday. So I may be in studio next week.
All right. Well, great to be here. Thanks so much.
Good
Thanks
night,
for having
everybody.
me.
Great seeing you, Joe.
Joe
Take care.
Pontillo.
Thank you,
See you
Butch.
guys soon.
Have fun in New Hampshire.
I'll try. See you there.
All right. Good night. Be safe, Joe.
Thanks, Butch.
We're out of here.
Thanks, Bobby.
Okay.
Old leather gloves, we're slapping in hands. Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. Was chasing the beer that circled the lips. Play ball, play ball. Roll up the bases and smack it right over the wall. Play ball. Play ball.